Okay, let's dive in. Remember all that stuff on masseter muscles and Botox, all those articles and training materials? Well, get ready because we're about to unpack it all. And honestly, it's way more interesting than it might seem at first glance.
Yeah, it might surprise you the number of people who are really interested in jaw muscles these days.
Right. I mean, initially, I have to admit, I was kind of picturing like an action movie montage,
Yeah,
but the more I looked into it, the more I realized this is actually connected to some really common health problems.
it really is.
We're talking teeth grinding, jaw pain, even how your face looks.
It's true, and it's a hot topic right now.
Who knew?
The Harley Street Institute, they're experts in this, by the way. They mentioned that there are over 50,000 Google searches every single month just for Masseter Botox
Mm.
in the US and the UK combined.
Wow, 50,000 searches a month. Okay, so that's more than just a few people then. So, for those of us who maybe haven't taken an anatomy class recently, what are masseter muscles exactly?
Well, okay, so imagine you're clenching your teeth,
Okay.
right? And you feel the side of your jaw, that really firm muscle that kind of pops out. That's your masseter. It's a very powerful muscle, and it connects your cheekbone to your lower jaw. And it's basically what you use to chew.
Okay, so like kind of the workhorse of your jaw. Got
Yeah.
it. But I'm guessing that there's more to it if we're talking about Botox.
Right, exactly. So, as important as they are, these muscles can also cause a lot of problems if they're, overdeveloped or overactive. Think like teeth grinding or jaw pain, even headaches.
Oh, okay. You mean like bruxism and TMJ disorders? I know somebody who actually has TMJ, and it's really awful. I had no idea that that could be related to these muscles.
Yeah, it very often is. Bruxism, that's the technical term for teeth grinding, by the way,
Yeah.
often goes hand in hand with these overactive masseter muscles.
Yeah.
And like when you think about the temporomandibular joint, that's your TMJ, it's that hinge that connects your jaw to your skull. It makes sense that strong muscles like that could actually cause problems in that area too.
Mm.
Because it's just constant clenching or grinding. Yeah, it's putting those muscles into overdrive.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. So then where does the Botox come in? I always thought that that was just for wrinkles. How do you even use that on a jaw muscle?
So Botox is actually a neurotoxin.
Yeah.
And what it does is it blocks temporarily the nerve signals that tell your muscles to contract.
Huh.
So when you use it on overactive masseters, it basically relaxes them and shrinks them a
Oh,
bit.
so it like chills them out
Yeah,
for
basically.
those overworked muscles.
Exactly.
That makes sense. It's like hitting the reset button on them.
Yeah, exactly.
But doesn't shrinking the masseter muscles, doesn't that also change the way that your face looks?
It does, yeah. And that's actually why Masseter Botox has become a lot more popular for cosmetic reasons, too.
Okay.
Because, yeah, shrinking those muscles can create this slimmer jawline, which some people find desirable.
Oh, so it's like a 2-for-1 deal.
Exactly.
It's medical and cosmetic.
Uh-huh.
That's got to be contributing to all those Google searches.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
But, and this is really important. This is still a medical procedure, right?
Right.
So it needs to be done by a trained healthcare professional, like a doctor or a dentist.
Right. You don't want just anyone injecting your face.
Exactly.
Speaking of dentists, though, I did notice in the Harley Street Institute materials, it seems like dentists have been a little slow to kind of get on board with this treatment,
No.
even though, like, dentists are the ones who are already focused on oral health and all of that.
It is interesting, isn't it? It seems like a natural fit. Like you said, they're already, in there.
Exactly.
I think one factor could just be awareness, right? I mean, Master Botox is still relatively new,
True.
and some dentists might not be, up on all the latest research and techniques.
Yeah, dentistry is very specialized.
Yeah.
There's always something new, so.
Exactly, exactly. And then there's, the training aspect of it too,
Yeah.
learning a new procedure, that takes time, resource. But I actually think there's another element at play here too,
Okay.
and that's the diagnostic piece.
What do you mean?
Well, a lot of people don't even realize that they're clenching their teeth or grinding their teeth.
Oh, interesting.
They might have jaw pain, headaches, but they don't necessarily connect it back to their masseter muscles. Right?
So it's not something that you would necessarily think to bring up at the dentist?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where something as honestly simple as palpation can make a really big difference.
Wait, palpation, you just mean like feeling the muscle
Yes.
with your hands?
Exactly. It's very low tech,
Okay.
but it's a really effective way for dentists to assess, the size, the tension of those muscles.
So are you saying that, like, if dentists just started, like, feeling their patients' jaw muscles more often?
They would probably find a lot more people who could benefit from, some type of intervention,
Interesting.
whether it's Botox or a night guard or even just like stress reduction techniques,
Right.
There's actually a really interesting anecdote about this in the Harley Street Institute blog.
Okay.
This dentist started incorporating palpation into all of her routine checkups,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she found that like roughly 20% of her patients actually had enlarged master muscles.
Wow.
And none of these patients had even complained about it.
20%. That's
It's
huge.
huge.
Wow.
It just goes to show you how important it is to have a dentist who's really paying attention, who's looking at the whole picture, right?
Yeah.
Thinking about all the different factors that could be contributing to these problems.
Mm-hmm. That's fascinating.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how many people just walking around with this jaw tension and pain, and they don't even realize that something can be done about it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's like we're so focused on taking care of our teeth that we kind of forget that like there are all these muscles that are controlling
It's
what.
all connected, yeah. And as we've been talking about, those connections really have, implications for our health and our appearance.
Hmm. Right. We were talking about the cosmetic aspect of Masseter Botox earlier. So like someone could go in and get this treatment done just because they want to change the way their face
Oh,
looks.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually become really popular as a non-surgical way to get a slimmer, more defined jawline.
Interesting. It's pretty amazing how much we're learning about these muscles that like nobody ever even thinks about. So it sounds like masseter muscles, they're connected to our dental health, they're connected to our overall well-being, and like you said, they even play a role in our self-image.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a perfect example of how, looking at the whole body, taking that kind of holistic view can really lead to new insights and new solutions for these problems.
So where do you think this goes from here? Like what does this mean for the future of dentistry? Do you think we'll see a shift towards like more early intervention
Hmm.
and just more of a focus on these muscles?
Yeah, I think so. As more people become aware of what a big role these master muscles play in everything from TMJ to, like we said, the aesthetics, I think we'll see a lot more dentists starting to incorporate this palpation into their routine exams
Hmm.
and just, having these conversations with their patients about treatment options and what can be done.
It's like a whole new frontier in dentistry.
In a way, it is. And, it really just highlights the importance of staying informed and being proactive about your health. So, like, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, my jaw kind of hurts, or I have a lot of headaches, or even if you're just curious about this, don't hesitate to reach out to a healthcare professional, somebody who's qualified, and ask them about it.
That's such good advice.
Mm.
Well, this has definitely given me a lot to chew on, so to speak. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of masseter muscles.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
He was really fascinating. And for everyone listening, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.